Hey everybody, my name is Nick. I'm the Director of Operations for the VW Music Network. What I want to do is I want to start a series of videos that are based for the client that is looking for a DJ. First of all, knowing how to hire a DJ, what to ask for, and following up with some other videos that just show the ins and outs of DJing made for the client rather than the DJ itself. If you search a lot of places, you'll see a lot of videos for DJs, but not necessarily for the client. So this first one we're going to do is, if you're getting ready to hire a DJ, what are some of the questions that you should ask? Well, first and foremost, not necessarily the most important question, but one of the most common questions you can ask a DJ is, are you insured? Now, whether a DJ is insured or not insured, I wouldn't let that be a make or break situation. A lot of places are starting to require insurance now, but it's not all events, so it's not necessarily mandatory, and it doesn't mean it's a good DJ or bad DJ based off of insurance. If it's something you're really worried about, then I would make sure you get a DJ with insurance, but don't let that be the number one priority. Secondly, you want to ask them, are you able to play requests on the day of the event, and will you sit down with us and plan music ahead of time? Now, there are two real big different questions right there. First of all, will you play requests at the event? That's all up to you. If the DJ says, if you want me to, that's the answer you're looking for. If they say no, then it's probably not. What you want to do is you want to give the DJ a list of songs that you would like played. And most DJs, the more extensive that list, the better. I know we like being direct as much as possible. Takes a little bit of the guesswork out of it for us. And if we notice that some of the songs necessarily aren't getting the crowd to interact as much, then we'll change it up just a little bit. We'll try and keep it as close as possible to the request that you've given. Music ahead of time. You definitely want to sit down with the DJ, or at least the DJ company you're going to be working with, in advance and go through some sort of a planner that not only shows the music that you want to play, but also shows the order of events, from introductions, whether there's going to be a blessing of the food, the dances, obviously first dance, bride and father, groom and mother, the cake cutting, the garter toss, even the exit. You want to make sure that all that stuff is set up in advance, so your biggest worry as the client is just to enjoy yourself. And that's for a wedding, and it goes the same with any other event as well. Just make sure that everything is laid out and that the DJ is aware. So when you get there, the DJ does their job, and you do your job, which is just have fun. Another question you should ask DJ, do you use professional equipment? If you're not in the industry, that could be a tough answer to digest. If you don't know the names of the makes and models, well, you have two ways of kind of doing it. First of all, you can go to a local music store and ask them either before or after, what are some of the good names that I need to look for? I'm about to hire a DJ. Another thing is there's plenty of websites out there that you can go to that will give you the same information. The American Disc Jockey Association is one of them. You can go on there. They have a great client side to answer questions for you. Now, another thing, you want to ask them, do you provide backup equipment? Or you can ask them, what do you do in the case that something doesn't work as according to plan? Now, in today's age, you have a lot of DJs that are not only using just CDs, but are also using computers. So technically that kind of is their backup, unless they have like a major malfunction of an amplifier or speakers or something like that. But hopefully, with speakers, they're at least carrying two, so you can still run an event off of one. So it will lower the volume a little bit, but it's not going to completely destroy the event. Maybe that DJ would give you a discount of some sort, something along those lines. But in the same case, most DJs will have some sort of backup equipment available. All right, the etiquette of your DJ. You want to ask them, first of all, what do you typically wear? And again, that's kind of a rhetorical question, because you pretty much want to tell them what you want them to wear. You got to be careful here as well. There's a lot of different DJs. You have the older DJs, which are that sparkly vest, bow tie kind of guy, and they have a lot of mic talk throughout the night. People don't know when actually songs playing because they're talking so much. And then you have the newer age DJs, which is what VWE actually is, but a little more laid back. We'll dress up as necessary, but we're not going to wear sparkles. I'm just sorry, that's just not something we do. But we do cater to what the client needs. Okay. Another thing you want to ask them is how much time you need for setup, because obviously punctuality, very necessary. You definitely want your DJ completely set up and hopefully even playing music before your first guest walks in. Average DJ will probably take somewhere between an hour to 2 hours to set up, leaning more towards the hour in most cases. But you want to make sure that they're set up, ready to roll. By them getting there early, it also allows them to plan just in case something doesn't work in advance. They have time to adjust and make things happen. All right. Next, do you do a written contract? Again, another rhetorical question, because if they say no, then run. But what you want is you definitely want a written contract for your sake, and a good DJ is going to do that as well for their sake. And a deposit in most cases also. Deposit, in our case, it books that date. And you want to be prompt whenever they issue you a contract. You want to be sure to get it back as quick as possible, because a lot of them will have a time period in there, maybe 5 days, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, that if you don't get that back to them with the deposit, then essentially the price they quoted you is no longer good. Especially in the busier seasons when DJs are getting a lot of phone calls and they're having to double book on specific days, or even more, 4, 5, 6 events a day for a lot of companies. And once they book those up, they can't take any more. So if you're looking at, I'm not sure when I'm going to send this back, make sure you get to that as quick as possible, because that is a huge indicator. You don't want to miss out on your DJ just because you were a little slack in sending it back. So make sure you get that back as quick as you can. Pricing. Obviously, you're going to ask for pricing. That'll probably be one of the first things that you ask them about. Now, keep in mind that in this industry, probably more than a lot of others, you do get what you pay for. Just think of the questions that we've already gone over. Professional equipment. Well, if they use professional equipment, it's going to cost them money. And obviously, they would have to charge. That would have to be included in their fees. So a DJ that's going to run, $150 or $200 is probably not going to be the DJ that you really want, because that doesn't even really cover the gas to get there and the equipment and music cost to keep up with that. So a good DJ is probably going to run you starting at $350 plus for a 4-hour event, and $350 is definitely on the lower end, but in most places, $350 can get you started. And I know I'm in North Carolina. $350. We start our events about $375 for a basic event, and that's usually a 3-hour event. I have a friend in Florida who they don't touch events for anywhere less than usually $750 or $800, and they do events all the way up to $4,000 or $5,000. And those prices are regional, because if I said that to someone here in North Carolina, they pretty much laugh at me, because it just doesn't happen. But something else you want to keep in mind: if you're having a 3 or 4 hour event, in most cases DJs are putting in a lot more than 3 or 4 hours. They're meeting with you beforehand with consultations. They're making sure the song lists are put together. They're making sure that they have those songs. There's a lot of prep work that goes in. You got an hour of setup, an hour of breakdown. You got their travel time. So for a typical 4-hour event, your DJ is probably putting in anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. So if you decide to go in and divide that hourly rate, just make sure you add in that as well, because that is time that they are using for your event. So you are paying for that, of course. No one works for free. Those are the basic questions that you want to ask a DJ before you do an event. I'm sure there's a lot of other questions as well. If you have other questions, feel free to email me. It's nick@vwemusic.com. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. Or you just go to our website, vwemusic.com. And hope to see y'all again. Remember, I said I'm going to start doing a series of these. Check out the website, and thanks for tuning in.